So here with Victoria Baskett, a level 1 recipient here at the ESPS tonight. Victoria, what do you make of the awards and how can it help you in the future?
Oh God, how will it help me in the future? It will help me so much, it's ridiculous. Already being here for just a couple of months, the amount of help that I've received from people has already put me in such stead for having a better year, not just in terms of strength and conditioning, but also in terms of basic sprinting technique and simple things like that, which all add up to make, well, a better athlete really. So in that respect, ridiculously a lot.
Victoria, you're a para-sprinter. Can you explain more about, was it T44, the category? Can you explain more about the category and what that involves then?
Yeah, so T44 category, or that classification, is specifically for people who have a disability from the knee down on one leg. So you can get various classifications, obviously depending on the disability. The higher the number, the more severe the disability. So T44 tend to run alongside T64, who are people with amputations or blades. But yeah, simply put, it's a disability from the knee down.
And you've trained at Loughborough International before. Can you explain a bit about what the infrastructure's like there and sort of how sort of the facilities at Loughborough and how the facilities here in Sheffield have helped you as an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I've only trained at Loughborough a couple of times through British Athletics, and the facilities there are absolutely amazing, but to be honest, I find that the facilities in Sheffield, for me personally, are better, not just because of the coaches that we have here, but also the access to coaches, as well as the facilities themselves. The EIS where I train is fantastic, and it's such a great opportunity from where I was to be able to train indoors, especially when it's really cold, rather than just outdoors, which particularly with my disability helps me a lot because mine seizes up in the cold, so to be able to train indoors is really advantageous.
And you take part in the 100 and 200 metres. Are they fairly different races in terms of mindset as well? Because they do seem they're both very short races, but in terms of the mindset, it must be fairly different.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually very grateful to have a sports psychologist who helps me out. And one of the things we discuss is the way to attack different races. So the 100, I have to be very calm and have to treat it completely differently to a 200 or say a 400, whereby you need to be a bit more sort of motivated and get some energy up before you start.
And lastly, not just goals of the future, but where do you think you'll end up realistically speaking?
Realistically speaking, I would. Do you know what? Like for para, it's really difficult in this situation. Unless you have international classification, you don't 100% know that you are going to be doing this for the rest of your career. And even then, it could be reassessed at any time. So realistically, I can't 100% say anything, because again, I don't know if that's going to happen. But there's no reason why it shouldn't. And if that's the case, I would like to go at least to Paris 2024, I think. I had initially aimed for Tokyo, but I've come to realise recently just how much of a mean feat that is, and that perhaps I need to realign my thoughts and think more sensibly. So yeah.
Sure you make it, Victoria. Thanks a lot anyway.